So, old tempest spinner here. Um, it's all gunked up so it doesn't really spin that freely, but I'm going to replace the axle anyway and run skateboard bearings in there. I've taken the chip out that had the teeth on it, so I'm just going to use this weighted piece, the spinner. I've already I've already made a new axle for it out of the same diameter, 5/8 inch steel. And as you can see, I've already got the sides here flattened. Got a bearing fitted on here. And basically, the idea is that I'm going to make brackets for the bearing to fit into that will sit on top of here instead of these clips here, because there's still friction on this, and it's just like greased up. This way, it'll spin using the skateboard wheel. It looks something like that, and spin a lot more freely. All the weight. This weight will be bolted to this new axle. I'll have another bearing down here, and then I'll use a little plastic sleeve to attach the potentiometer down here. Don't know if it'll work, but in theory it will, maybe. We'll see. So here's the kind of the final modded spinner in the bracket. You could see there, skateboard bearing. There's another skateboard bearing right down there. You can see it kind of sticking up. And it turns real smooth now. Basically what I'm going to do, I may have to drill a little bit of a kind of a route out a little bit of a area on the CP, because this has to stick in there, but I'll drill out the hole a little bit. But this is accommodating like 1/2 inch for the MDF. I can always move this axle up or down, and then I've drilled holes out here in the corners, and this will screw kind of right onto the bottom of the CP. So I don't know if this will work or not. I mean, I'm going to probably cut this a little shorter. There's going to be a little plastic sleeve that connects to the 1-up potentiometer. Again, I don't know if it'll work, but I mean, just the gravity of this thing is excellent. So I'm thinking just the weight of this wheel will keep it, kind of emulate somebody spinning it. It'll have enough force. Maybe it's not going to spin as freely as this, obviously. But even if it can make it down around 1 or 2 revolutions or whatever, that would be enough to be a much smoother play on the on Tempest or whatever than just the little plastic thing that they have. Anyway, I gotta just wait for my unit, and then I'll just basically mod a plate onto the bottom of here, and this sleeve will attach to the potentiometer, and the original bracket will just go onto the bottom of here, and we'll see how it works. I mean, the way I see it is it's worth a shot. We already know what to expect with the plastic spinner, which isn't really a spinner. So, I mean, this will maybe help to make the dial work more like a spinner, even though I'm not expecting it to spin as freely as that does. But anyway, this does spin a lot better than the original arcade one did. The original arcade thing just had like little plastic inserts there that were like greased up with like little Teflon washers or whatever, and there was a lot of friction there. And so the skateboard bearings, and these are really good high quality bearings too. Skateboard bearings make it work a lot smoother, so it's at least giving it a chance to work more like a spinner. I'll have to see how or if it works. And the way I'm going to do it is just everything's going to bolt on, so if I want to take my machine back to stock, I can. So I finally got my little modded Tempest spinner installed. This is an actual spinner mechanism that I pulled off of a 1980s control panel. It was a major Havoc conversion, and that I had sitting around. It was just the control panel, and I decided to pull the mechanism out and try to adapt it. And this basically is going to show a test of what it does now. It's still, I basically rebuilt the thing to use skateboard bearings. I used this original knob here, and then I built a new shaft for it, new axle for it, and then I rebuilt it to use skateboard bearings, high quality skateboard bearings, and then I attached a sleeve to that axle that attaches to the original 1-up potentiometer, and just in the hopes that it would work better than that dial. God, I tried the dial and I just couldn't live with it, man. I'm hoping they might release something in the future, but here's kind of how it spins, quote unquote, now. So it's able to actually much more freely spin now. However, the potentiometer will only register a certain number of pulses. So, I mean, if you try to spin it really fast, it won't register. So, I mean, basically, the way I do the gameplay mainly is to just kind of spin it back and forth. But the weight of that wheel kind of did what I was hoping that it would. And it kind of, the inertia and the gravity of the weight allows that thing to spin back and forth more freely now. Also, a bonus with that is there's no more damn clicking noise. All the padding and stuff that I have on there now, and double stick tape helps to absorb that clicking noise. So it actually behaves a lot more like a spinner now using that pot. So I'm gonna play a quick little game and show you how that works. Here, see if I can position this right. Alright, so let's get into Tempest. I'm just so much happier with this thing now. Because it makes it a much more pleasant arcade-like experience, and a lot easier to play. So as you can see, I can whip around the board really quickly and really fast. If I want to snap over to the other side, it's easy to get there. So I mean, it feels like I'm playing on an arcade machine when I have it now. So I mean, I'm extremely happy with where this is at. This way I can save my good Ultramark spinner for something else. It's accurate. In the post that I'm doing, I'll show pictures that I took along the way. Anyway, so there it is, man.